Get your hair cut way up high. Get yourself a lawyer, son. You're gonna need a real good one.
How nice to be talking again to your talk-back lawyer, David Whiting, well-known Melbourne solicitor who dispenses free advice. Why? Well, because he's just a nice kind of guy. Welcome, Facebook. Great to see you on board this morning. You can stream live, like us, follow us. We let you know when we're streaming. David Whiting, good morning to you.
Good morning, Virginia.
Do we have your face on Facebook this morning? We do.
We do. Technology is a wonderful thing.
David, wave to the camera. Are you waving? I can't see you.
I am. Okay.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good.
I see your 2 weeks off was very busy.
Yeah, it wasn't much of a holiday, was it?
No.
I have
Quite a sleep in, though.
I have a stupid notion of holidays, just
Yes.
Q&A and 7:30. But look, you know, when they ask you to do that, you say yes. You step up to the mark and you do your job. Do you have a 3-ingredient recipe for me this morning, David? Before we get to legal calls?
No.
No, I'll leave
I
that with
don't
you.
at all.
That's a question on
Okay.
notice.
Done.
I just before we move on, I've got to share this with people because it's just blown my mind. Such great suggestions from listeners. A 3-ingredient recipe. Listen to this: 1 kilogram dried fruit, 600 mils of chocolate milk, and 2 cups of self-raising flour gets you a fruitcake. I'm going to do
Okay.
that. You say,
How long will it take you to eat it?
yeah, me, honey, I could knock that off in one episode of, name your TV show. So you soak the fruit in milk overnight. You sift the flour into the fruit, stir to combine, bung it in the oven. Voila! All right, that's my challenge. I'm definitely accepting that. Do we have any homework from the last time you were on air here, David?
No, we were free of homework. We achieved everything from the week before.
Oh, well done.
Homework free.
Good. Any news happening in your world?
Well, the bit that it interested me, it was all fairly boring over the last week, but what
okay.
interested me was there's a website that in fact, or an app that has managed to scrape 3 billion images off social media and is now combining them to match you. So, it's being used by police forces around the world and it's being trialled by police forces here.
Right.
So you put up a Facebook picture or a WhatsApp picture or wherever it is you put them up.
Yep.
And this, against the privacy policies of these websites, someone's gone and scraped 3 billion images and it now tries to match them.
Gee, that's amazing.
Well, I think it's mildly terrifying. We're all interested in our privacy.
Yep.
So, and there's also been some reports out of the UK that facial recognition technology hasn't always worked, as everybody's saying it's the next thing in policing. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't.
Maybe it isn't. We're getting a little bit of a rattle from your headset. I don't know if there's anything you can do to maybe just not knock it or
I'll sit stiller.
that sound. We just heard that sound then. Whatever you're doing then, that's what was making the annoying rattle. But David,
Okay, it's the speaker hitting my collar.
there you go.
I'll make sure it doesn't.
Beautiful. It is not. It sounds perfect now. David Whiting, you can hear him, you can see him streaming live on our ABC Radio Melbourne Facebook page right now, and he's answering your questions. So Stella in Newport is first up this morning. Hi, Stella.
Hi, Virginia. How are you?
I'm well. Go ahead.
So on the 5th of July, I noticed odd behaviour on my Facebook page. A strange name wanted to friend me. Then I noticed my credit card was getting defrauded with purchases for Facebook for ads based in Ireland. Then I received about 4 emails from Facebook saying that I had breached community standards. Then all my pages were taken down, including Instagram, and I have since tried to get back on. And I've been told by Facebook 2 things. 1, they can't review my case because of COVID, and 2, they have reviewed my case and they won't reinstate me. So I unfortunately need Facebook like everybody else because when COVID passes, I hope to get my comedy room back up again, and without it, I'm a bit sunk.
Wow.
I don't know the processes. I don't understand how an electronic organisation would be affected by COVID at all in terms of their ability to review your status. Have you disputed the transactions with your credit card company for a chargeback?
The bank were great. They got onto it immediately and created a fraud case number and stopped the card and reissued. So the financial side of things is fine. The other side's a bit tricky. And then further to that, in all of my searching for help, there was a contact which said they could reinstate me for a fee. And they won't give me a phone number or a name or a country of origin, so that looks very scammy.
It sounds like it. Can I take that on notice? I've got a couple of clients who've got a similar issue, Stella, so we'll see what I can give you for next week.
Stella,
That'd be great.
In the meantime, so you've been suspended and you want to be able to get back on. Is there still any scurrilous activity going on that erstwhile Facebook page of yours?
Well, I can't even get onto Facebook to see,
find
and
out.
I've checked on someone else's machine, and you can't even find me anymore.
Right, okay. Oh, well, at least no one's misrepresenting themselves as you.
No.
But it's now
No,
about
that's good.
getting back on.
Yeah, unfortunately, that would, So that I'd really appreciate, David. Thank
Okay.
you.
Good,
Pleasure.
and we'll try and find out. Thanks so much.
What are you
Bernadette
doing in another room?
Hello, Bernadette. You're on.
Oh,
you're
hi.
on. Hi, that's you. You're on air.
Thank you. Oh, hi, Virginia and David. Thank you.
That's
I was scammed of my banking of 2 accounts, one with Bendigo and one with ING, 8th of May, 9 weeks ago, and I'm not getting anywhere with the banks. I would like some advice as how to pursue it. Do I go ombudsman?
I would go to the Ombudsman. That would be the easiest way and get the fastest outcome. The Ombudsman is better connected at the bank than you or I will ever be.
Oh,
So
yeah.
talk to the Ombudsman about the issue. What happened? Somebody took money out of your
very
accounts?
Politely, no. Was on the phone for most of the day being led that I was with the high security of the Bendigo Bank. They had noticed
Yes.
activity on my bank.
And they wanted
so
to put through a trial transaction, did they?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's okay.
So-
It happened to a friend of mine. Took 2 hours and everything sounded absolutely perfect until they said, we'd now like to run a dummy transaction through your account. So can you give us these details, please?
That's right.
And at
But
that stage,
to
he
the
hung
tune
up.
of $30,000, so I'm
Wow.
pretty broke.
Wow.
Yes.
And I'm not getting anywhere. They keep
But-
saying, no, they haven't heard from the NAB in another country. I said, I don't believe you. Is it the bank's responsibility to find that money, to replace it, or have I just said goodbye to it?
Bernadette, probably what you've done is you've breached the terms of your agreement with the bank by handing over your PIN
Yeah.
or your the code on the back of your card. So you've probably breached your agreement. However, in most cases, if the bank thinks the whole thing is innocent, they will make it good.
Oh, good. That's
So just
hopeful.
keep going. Keep
Keep
talking to the
going.
Financial Services Ombudsman.
Thank you. Keep pushing the wheelbarrow.
Absolutely.
Yes,
For
Bernadette.
30 grand, don't give up on this one,
Oh,
Bernadette.
no way.
Fight on.
No.
There'll be a virus and a money party happening when this is all over.
We'd like to be invited. Thank you,
Oh,
Bernadette.
definitely. Well, happy baking, Virginia.
Yeah, thanks so much. Alan has called in from Malmesbury this morning. Hi, Alan.
G'day. Morning, David. Always admired your succinct advice. I've got a curly one on wills. The background, the father died recently, the second parent. There's 5 siblings. The will is 100% to one of them. One party is quite disinterested. There's 2 who agree with and understand the intent and wishes, but they unfortunately aren't stated in the will. And one of them, one of those 2 is probably the most needy. The last sibling, who is fairly well off, is challenging the will. Now,
Yes.
question. If the magistrate at VCAT agrees that the will challenge goes ahead, does it become a one-on-one challenge between the challenger and the beneficiary? Does the magistrate automatically look at all 5
Well, let's
siblings?
back it up a little, Alan.
Yep.
First of all, there are no magistrates at VCAT. Secondly, it's not at VCAT. It's either in the County Court or the Supreme Court, depending upon the size of the estate.
Oh.
And what it's a claim by the person who says, I haven't been provided for.
Yeah.
And it's a claim against that person and the beneficiary, the person who gets the lot. The fact that there might be other family members who are also needy is not really relevant. The fact
Right.
a needy one chose not to dispute their parents' distribution, makes no difference.
Okay. If they intended to become, if they were going to become involved, they would then have to become involved before it got to the court stage.
Yes, they would.
Yeah.
They would, but it would be possible for everyone to the other three to put their hat in the ring and say, we don't think we were adequately provided for, and they could all bring their claim at the same time with the same lawyer, because, well, although they don't have precisely the same interest, because all of their needs will be slightly different, they can certainly claim together at the same time, and with court issuing fees at sort of $1,500, you might as well save some money on the way through.
Yeah. So, but if they were in agreement with the one
with the will,
that got it, then they would go.
Then they would file affidavits in support.
Or they'd have to go separately.
No, they could provide evidence to the one who is not included.
Yep.
To the one who's received everything. So they provide affidavits in support. Say we fully support what mum or dad did in the will, and we don't think the other person should receive anything for the following reasons.
Fair enough. Okay, I'll pass that
Thanks,
on.
Alan.
Thanks a lot.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Thanks for calling in, Alan. Vanessa is in Mount Waverley. What's going on, Vanessa?
Yes, good morning. Just wanted to ask David, in reference to dog barking, through council, lodged the complaint, did the diary, registering how many times it barks, etc. Went back to council and they told me that for them to take the next stage and go and speak to the residents of the property, they need to take my name and my address and expose that to the residents. And I'm a little bit apprehensive having my privacy exposed in public like that. Can you give me advice, David, whether that is correct or not?
Well, if you're making a formal complaint, then you need to be identified as part of the complaint, because in the event that they take this matter to court, you would probably be required to give evidence. But where would the objection be to that?
You want to remain anonymous in this?
Yes, only because, you just sort of perhaps, expose your location and people might come around and sort of threaten you. So I just thought just to do like a diary, just so the council could go down and talk to them and tell them that it has been diarised and,
But where do you go from there?
Yeah, that's
Vanessa?
correct, David. So, yeah, you're right.
So
yeah.
my difficulty would be, because if the council decides to take the matter further, it will be substantially on the basis of your evidence.
Yes.
Are relations so bad between you and neighbours that you would not want them to know that you made the complaint?
Oh, only because you don't. It's not the streets that's sort of behind my house. I don't know these people, so I don't know who. What they. Some people get possibly can get emotionally caught up in this and might have a go at you directly. That's why I just sort of am a little bit apprehensive about exposing my location and who I am. But yeah, I just thought that council dog barking reports, they could possibly do a little bit more before you get to that point that you have to have your identity exposed.
They could certainly tell the person, look, we've had these complaints of these noises on this frequency.
Yes. Yes.
But in terms of taking it much further, I mean, I think they would need to say the street in which you lived, so that they would have some idea of the distance that the dog barking sounds were travelling.
Yes.
But your actual identity and your street number, I don't think at this stage would need to be disclosed.
Vanessa, have you actually tried talking to your neighbour?
Yes.
And that didn't go so well?
No.
Okay.
So that's why I fear to have my identity exposed.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess it's up to you how far you want to take this then.
Yes. All right. That's okay. Thank you very much for your time this morning. Good morning
luck.
to you both. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Monica has called in from Dalesford. Hi, Monica.
Oh, good morning. My question is, I found a substantial amount of money at a supermarket about 7 weeks ago.
How much?
300.
In what sort of form? How was it?
It was in $50 notes just scattered on the floor.
Oh.
Yeah. So I handed the money into the customer service desk, And as of today, no one has claimed the money. And I would just like to know who is entitled to that money. I would actually like it and donate it to a charity of my choice.
Monica, my view is the money is you're entitled to the money. There is no other identifiable owner, and you had it last.
Oh, okay. What the supermarket told me is that they will keep the money for about 8 weeks and then they would hand it in to the police. That was their answer to me.
That's not an unreasonable approach, and then you would need to make an application to the police for the money.
Oh, I see.
And the police would give it to you.
But I could actually go up to the desk and just say I've had advice and I'm entitled to it now that no one's made a claim?
No. Where we're at the moment is that they're trying to find or trying to create an opportunity for the true owner to get the money.
Yes.
The question is, how long ought that be? They're saying 8 weeks, you say 3 is enough.
Well, it's been 7. Yeah.
It's been 7. Well, there's another week to go.
Yeah.
And at which stage they would come along and say, well, we don't know who the money is either and we don't want to decide, so we're going to pass the matter over to the police.
Okay.
How long do police normally hang on to those things for, David? Because I had years ago a similar situation where I handed something in, it was photographs, but is there a standard of time that police normally hang onto it for?
Oh, I would have thought a couple of months, but whether they take account of the 8 weeks that the supermarkets got it already, I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm. All right, I shall act on that. Thank you so much.
Good on you. Good luck.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Dip has called in. Dip, it is, from Melbourne. Hello.
Hi, David. This is
Hello, Dip.
Yeah, I would like to ask a question, or I would like to, ask my position as a landlord to a tenant living next door to mine. But since February or since this COVID pandemic has started, they have actually reduced the rent less than a half, and they are not coming on to any arrangements as well. Our property manager tried hard. We went to the mediator services of consumer affairs, and then the guy played his COVID card and said, look, I can't afford to pay more than this. And now the situation is there are no arrangements in between. We have gone to VCAT, and he's saying the same thing. We haven't heard back from VCAT yet, but we have asked for the possession orders because the things are not settling anywhere. They just live next door to us, and it's putting us in a very...
As I recall, there are to be no evictions for a period of 6 months.
Yeah, I understand.
So your possession order will be quite some time in coming, and who knows what revisions they'll make to the legislation as this COVID thing is extending. The rent that you're entitled to get will be the rent that is determined by VCAT. So you tried a negotiation and it failed. You had a mediation and it failed. So you've gone to VCAT and there's been a hearing, and you're still waiting on the decision. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Then the extent of the discount that your tenant will be entitled to will be whatever is ordered by VCAT. And you could appeal to the Supreme Court on that, but first of all, I don't think I would spend the money. And secondly, it's probably not a question of law, so you might be unsuccessful. To all intents and purposes, you are stuck with what the decision VCAT reaches.
So if VCAT says, look, that's what they can pay, and and my position as a landlord is I'm going into a financial crisis or a hardship, or in a mental pressure where they are living next door and ordering Uber every day and having private lessons for their kids, and they are in well-off position to pay the rent. As I can see.
Well, when the matter goes to VCAT, the VCAT has to consider two issues. One is the impact of whatever is happening out there on them, and I don't know what evidence you provided to VCAT in relation to the Uber deliveries and the private lessons for whatever, but also the financial impact on you. It's a analysis by VCAT or a determination that depends upon the impact of COVID-19 on you and the impact of COVID-19 on your tenant. It's not just a one-sided approach.
Okay. So will VCAT be asking any proofs or evidences from them as well where they can prove they are in financial hardship?
Well, have you had a hearing, or are
No,
you
we
waiting
have.
for a hearing?
I'm waiting for a hearing.
Oh, okay. I thought VCAT had made a decision. No. So you're waiting for a hearing? The answer would be yes. So you might keep a diary of, I don't know, the Uber deliveries, or you might provide an explanation as to piano lessons or whatever, and their evidence of the absence of a financial hardship on the part of the tenant, and you can provide your own evidence as to the financial hardship on you.
Right.
So
but
you'll
with
get that
my
opportunity at VCAT.
So you'll have to provide that evidence there. Dip, have you tried speaking to them?
Look, my property manager quite a few times, but the owner is, the tenant is like ignoring and saying, look, I won't be able to provide any. I mean, like he's just ignorant. He's being very weird person, very rudely replying back to the emails which property manager is sending.
Right.
So I mean, like, and he's a financial planner, and he's going really well with his things because of the need of
Well, you can't assume that, of course. You'll have to know that for certain.
Of course, I'm not. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good luck. You'll have to gather your evidence and wait for your hearing. Thanks for calling in, Dip.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Karen has called in from the Mornington Peninsula. Hi, Karen.
Hello, David.
Good morning.
Hi, Karen.
I've just got a question. My father died in December with his 3 siblings. He's got had a wife, my stepmother, and she's lovely. She's been wonderful looking after him. But I haven't heard anything since the death. He doesn't really speak to the other 2 siblings. I'm the one that was the main child, if you like.
Yes.
But I haven't heard anything about a will, and I tried to broach it with her, and I think she thought that I wanted to contest it or I wanted something out of it, but I've just got nothing to say that he actually died and that he ever thought about me, and it just leaves me a bit hollow.
Sure.
And I just don't know whether he mentioned me or... I'm so sorry.
No, Karen, it's completely understandable.
So, Karen, what would you like to know?
I just assumed, and I don't know anything about legal things, but I assumed that I would see a copy of the will, and I assumed that everything would go to his wife, and that's fine. I'm perfectly happy with that. But I just I wanted to know that he'd thought of me.
Okay, Karen. There's a piece of legislation in Section 50 of the Wills Act says that you are entitled to a copy of each and every one of your dad's wills. And
right.
Not just the last one, but any earlier ones he may have made. So then you can look at the Supreme Court website, and that will tell you if an application has been made for a grant of probate. It will also tell you whether or not he has, if an application has been started, and there will be details of an advertisement lodged and also details of whoever is acting in the administration of the estate. Or you could simply ask your stepmother, can I have a copy of Dad's will, please? And Section 50 of the Wills Act imposes the obligation on her, as well as the obligation on whoever's got physical custody, be that the lawyer or the accountant or whoever.
Karen, you asked that question and it didn't go so well?
Yes, I did. I think she thought that I was, and we've had a really good relationship, but I think she thought that I was after something, and I'm not.
Did you try explaining to her that you just want to know if there was mention made of you?
Yes, I did.
And could you try again?
I can try again. I don't want to hassle her.
No, I get that, but it's been a number of months now.
Yeah, it has.
And as the daughter, you're entitled to know, and as David says, you've got that legal right anyway to receive a copy of it. But just to know, not even if it was financial provision, but just mention of you for your own emotional well-being and peace. Maybe you could explain it in those terms.
Yeah, I did try that.
You did.
But it's just like, I I just got upset talking to you, and I'm the most down-to-earth, practical, unemotional person you could imagine. But when I feel this emptiness that he's died...
Karen,
because it's your dad.
Karen,
Absolutely.
if you want to pull it back just a little, if you find that an application for a grant of probate has been made, then you are able to search that, and if the probate is granted, you can actually make a search at the Supreme Court and get a copy of the will.
Okay.
You could get it that way, but you need to know, because for lots of estates that pass between husband and wife, there are no probate documents ever lodged because it's not necessary.
Okay.
So make the searches on the Supreme Court website first.
Yes.
Have a look. You want to search applications and advertisements.
Yeah.
And they will ask for a person's name and they'll tell you if someone's applied for a grant or not.
Okay. All right.
All right.
That's a very
Thank
good
you.
starting point. Thank you very much. I'll go back to my
Karen.
practical self now.
Well, there you go. That might be the easier way through this than the other route. Take care, Karen. I completely understand. So take care of yourself.
Okay. Thank
you. Great to hear from all of you this morning. I hope the advice was helpful. Well, do we have one piece of homework out of that, David? Is that right?
We do. Facebook and how you might get yourself reinstated.
Oh, so your homework is to solve a Facebook problem. Good luck.
I'll try. Thank you.
I honestly, the only man for the job has to be David Whiting. Thanks, David.